Iran is trying to force shippers to comply with a new protocol for transiting the Strait of Hormuz, or risk attack. Tehran has laid out a set of new rules for vessels seeking to transit the Strait of Hormuz, according to a document seen by CNN, pressing ahead with efforts to formalize control over the waterway in defiance of US warnings. Israel's opposition is uniting to try to unseat Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in upcoming elections. Former Prime Ministers Naftali Bennett and Yair Lapid are joining forces, but deep divisions remain over the war with Iran and Israel's future direction. As pressure mounts on Netanyahu after months of war and political turmoil, can the opposition really take power? In this episode,
a document purported to be a suicide note written by disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has been released by a judge in New York. The decision by US District Judge Kenneth Karras did not establish the note's authenticity, but simply found that it was a judicial document subject to the public's right of access. And Google on Thursday unveiled its new Fitbit Air, a Whoop-like screenless wearable that retails for $100. The device includes health and fitness tracking features like 24/7 heart rate monitoring and heart rhythm monitoring with AFib, atrial fibrillation, alerts, blood oxygen level, resting heart rate variability, sleep stages and duration, and more. And the tech giant said in a blog post that the device is aimed at people who find wearable devices to be too bulky, complicated or expensive, noting that the Fitbit Air is simple, affordable and comfortable enough to wear 24/7.
Alongside taking the wraps off the new Fitbit Air, a Whoop-esque fitness band, Google on Thursday also said it is rebranding its Fitbit app as Google Health and launching an AI-powered health coach as a subscription service. The Health app will become a central part of Google's fitness strategy, capitalizing on its 2021 acquisition of Fitbit, which saw the tech giant delving into fitness wearables to supplement its more general-purpose Android smartwatch.
And when Anthropic unveiled its new Mythos model in April, it also delivered a stern warning to anyone developing software. The model was so powerful at sniffing out software vulnerabilities, the lab claimed, and that it had discovered thousands of high-severity bugs that would need to be fixed before it could be made public. Now, security researchers for Mozilla's Firefox browser are providing a closer look at what that process has looked like in practice and what Mythos's powers mean for software security at large. And Cherry Mass Pakistan is evaluating to launch 3 future models for the local market, including the Tiggo 4, HEV, QQBV and Tiggo V, products that reflect Cherry's broader focus on hybrid and electric and multi-purpose mobility solutions. Cherry Master Pakistan, introduced locally by Master Auto Engineering, part of the Master Group with over 60 years of industrial and automotive legacy, and has signalled the potential introduction of multiple new models in the local market, following its strong participation at Auto China 2026, and where the company engaged with global leadership and reviewed Cherry's next-generation product and technology roadmap.
the government has decided in principle to allow commercial banks to take possession of mortgaged houses in cases of loan default after a cumulative notice period of 90 days, as it seeks to encourage lending to Pakistan's housing sector. The proposed legal change is part of amendments to the Financial Institutions Recovery of Finances Ordinance, which are currently under review, which are currently NDU by the National Assembly's Standing Committee on Finance and Revenue. Islamabad. The government decided in principle to grant commercial banks significant powers to take over mortgaged houses in case of default after a cumulative notice period of 90 days. In a move aimed at encouraging lending to the housing sector, the proposed foreclosure law to amend the Financial Institutions Recovery of Finances Ordinance 2001. currently under review by the National Assembly's Standing Committee on Finance and Revenue, provides that where a customer defaults on payment of mortgage dues, the financial institution may issue 3 notices of 30 days each, demanding payment of the outstanding mortgage amount. Ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas have stalled and Gaza risks sliding back into war. This week, an Israeli airstrike killed the son of Hamas's leader and chief negotiator Khalil al-Hayya, and Palestinian sources confirmed to the BBC that the two sides had reached a deadlock in negotiations.
Athletes from Belarus should once again compete with their full national identity and not be vetted for neutral status, the International Olympic Committee has said, though the advice to sports governing bodies does not yet apply also to Russia. It seemed to point towards being closer to ending Russia's isolation in Olympic circles during its war on Ukraine. Skyroot Aerospace has become India's first space tech unicorn after raising $60 million in a new investment ahead of the maiden orbital launch of its Vikram 1 rocket in the coming weeks. The funding round valued the Hyderabad-based startup at $1.1 billion on a pre-money basis and included about $50 million in primary equity co-led by Sherpalo Ventures and GIC, along with around $10 million in structured debt managed by funds affiliated with BlackRock, the company told TechCrunch. You can spend months trying to get in front of the right people, or you can show up where they're already looking. At TechCrunch Disrupt 2026, more than 10,000 founders, investors and operators will gather at Moscone West from October 13 to 15. And at the center of it all, where deals start, conversations accelerate, and new companies get discovered, is the Expo.
Police have arrested and brought 44 charges against 3 men for allegedly operating an SMS blaster in downtown Toronto. The scheme, which began in November 2025, is the first known instance of an SMS blaster operating in Canada, according to the police report. In a statement, the Toronto Police Service said it believes tens of thousands of devices were blasted with spammy text messages over several months.
And Startup Battlefield 200 applications are open, but only for 3 more weeks. Apply by May 27 for your shot at VC access, global visibility, TechCrunch coverage, $100K equity free, and more opportunities for major scaling impact. And pre-Series A founders and anyone who knows a startup worth backing, this is your reminder. The deadline is approaching fast and the strongest contenders are already entering the arena. If your startup has been nominated, and don't wait, complete your application now before the window closes.
The University of Health Sciences, UHS, has approved 7 new certificate courses aimed at improving research capacity, clinical skills, laboratory standards and scientific communication for students in health sciences disciplines. The approval was granted during the 225th meeting of the Advanced Studies and Research Board, which was chaired by Vice-Chancellor Professor Ahsan Wahid Rathor.
A ministerial committee meeting regarding the regularization of ad hoc teachers in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa was held on Thursday in Peshawar under the chairmanship of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Minister for Elementary and Secondary Education, Arshad Ayub Khan. During the meeting, the committee agreed in principle to regularize approximately 14,000 ad hoc teachers across the province. Formal approval for this decision will be sought from the provincial cabinet. IQ has officially teased the upcoming IQ 15T and IQ Pad 6 Pro in China and has opened pre-reservations for both devices. Rumors about the 2 products surfaced late last month, suggesting a May launch. However, the company has not yet announced an official launch date.
And the Punjab Food Authority, PFA, acting on the directions of Director General Syed Musa Raza, uncovered a unit involved in the illegal production of oil from animal fat and offal near Sabzi Mandi, Rohingya, The operation was led by Additional Director Lahore Khawaja Umayyah. During the raid, officials discarded 33,030 kilograms of animal fat and offal, along with 5,000 litres of oil prepared from fat.
The Sindh High Court, SHC, has directed the Sindh government to restore Karachi's University Road within 2 months, while declaring the sealing of the office and machinery of a contractor working on the Bus Rapid Transit, BRT, Red Line Lot 2 project illegal. The ruling was issued during hearings related to the sealing of the contractor's office and machinery amid ongoing construction work on the BRT Red Line project.
And Pakistan Test captain Shan Masood has expressed confidence in the bowling attack as the national side prepares to face Bangladesh in the first test of the 2-match series in Mirpur on Friday. The Green Shirts are visiting Bangladesh for a test series after being whitewashed on home soil by the Bengal Tigers in August 2024. The visitors had won the 2-match series by 10 wickets and 6 wickets respectively in Rawalpindi.
Cambridge International Education, CIE, on Thursday cancelled the prematurely shared mathematics exam, announcing that it will conduct a new version of the exam for affected regions on June 9. On April 30th, CSIE confirmed that its AS-level mathematics paper was shared prematurely against its regulations. It said that the exam paper was for the Africa, Europe, the Middle East, Pakistan and South Asia regions. South Africa's government has condemned the circulation of what it called fake videos and images that have been described by some as recordings of attacks on foreign nationals in the country. The call comes as diplomatic tension has increased between South Africa and other African nations following accusations that xenophobic violence is on the rise once again in the country. 2 former Chinese defence ministers have been handed suspended death sentences on corruption charges, according to state media. A military court on Thursday sentenced Wei Fenghe and Li Shangfu to death with a 2-year reprieve. This means their death sentences will be commuted to life imprisonment after 2 years, without the possibility of sentence reduction or parole, Xinhua reports. 3 women with links to the jihadist Islamic State IS group have been arrested on returning home to Australia following years in detention in Syria. All are Australian citizens. Police said they arrested 2 of them, Kausar Abbas, 53, and Zainab Ahmed, 31, on arrival in Melbourne. Janai Safar, 32, was arrested after landing in Sydney. Health authorities are racing to trace dozens of people who disembarked from a hantavirus-hit cruise ship on the island of St Helena in the South Atlantic. The operator of the Dutch vessel said 29 passengers of at least 12 different nationalities left the MV Hondius on the 24th of April. The Dutch government gave a different figure of 40.
The Trump administration plans to redirect $2 billion in funding intended for global health programs to cover the cost of closing the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. According to a copy of the notification obtained by CNN, the funds would be pulled from money that Congress appropriated for health programs tackling malaria, tuberculosis, maternal and child health, nutrition, global health security, HIV/AIDS, and more, 2 federal health policy experts told CNN. Roughly $1.2 billion originally intended for foreign development assistance would also be redirected. In a stunning move amid a continued purge of its military, China on Thursday gave 2 former defense ministers suspended death sentences for corruption. Wei Fenghe and Li Shangfu were both convicted of bribery and given the death penalty with a 2-year reprieve by the country's military court, according to state media. The court announced that the 2 former generals' sentences will be commuted to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole after 2 years.
And the World Health Organization said Thursday that 8 hantavirus cases, including 3 confirmed infections and 5 suspected cases, have been identified among people connected to the cruise ship MV Hondius as health authorities across several countries race to trace and contain the outbreak. The vessel carrying remaining passengers is travelling toward Spain's heightened scrutiny, where its arrival is drawing heightened scrutiny.
An Emirati dhow hijacked by Somali pirates last month has been abandoned in the Arabian Sea after the gang failed to use the vessel to attack other ships. Security officials in Somaliland's Puntland region told the AFP news agency. An 11-member pirate group seized the Fahad 4 in late April, about 10 nautical miles, 19 kilometres, off the coastal town of Dinauda in northeastern Somalia.